What do you do when your husband is addicted to USC basketball?
Come on, CBM.
You got about a 5.5-second difference between shot and game.
Come on, CBM. You can do this. All right, Trojans. Come on. Oh, my God. No, no.
Calm down, calm down. Let me get you a Xanax.
Oh, my God. It's his fourth foul.
Welcome to Trojan Basketball with Matt B4SC.
Barely 4 minutes into the game, and Musselman was already losing it.
It's not like they're in the 300s, and they just absolutely obliterated them.
What do the Trojans have to do on this side?
Well, they've got to take care of the basketball. And I think you definitely, when you're going up against the defense of the league, you've got to move the ball. A lot of one-on-one right now, and boy, they're going to get Eric Wilson with it. He felt like Baker Mazar had been pulled down and fouled.
He's not done. Billy Pfeiffer, Mike Littlewood assessing it. Musselman is still infuriated right now. He's got to be careful, Robbie. What he's mad about.
Honestly, Baker Mazar just loses his balance.
A technical foul has been issued to the Trojans.
You got to move this Michigan defense. This can't.
With 16 minutes left in the first half of the USC-Michigan basketball game, Musselman was already flabbergasted. The team was discombobulated. And even though the score was Michigan 6, USC nothing, and Michigan was about to go on a run, they would be leading 11-0, I already was telling myself, I think we're hopelessly behind. But things did improve for a minute. Michigan had jumped out to a quick lead, but USC battled back. They showed their heart. And with 5 minutes left, Easter scores a basket. And we find ourselves down just by 6 points. But that was it. In just another second or two, Michigan is going to go on a run and completely took over the game. So what happened? The first thing we got to remember when we look at this 30-point loss is that we don't want to overreact. Let me help you understand. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Back in the early 2000s, I used to own a 2000 Mustang convertible V8, and I loved that car, and I loved it because it was fast. And one night I was out in the desert, out in the Mojave Desert, coming home from Vegas, and I was on this long straightaway that I like to drive on, and I opened it up. I was going about 90 miles an hour, just flying down it, and all of a sudden I see this car coming up behind me. And it's dusk, so I can't quite see what it is, but it zips up behind me, and he's kind of riding my tail, and I'm like, who does this guy think he is? And I floored it, and I'm quickly over 100, and as soon as I floored it, that car, boom, went flying around me, and I'm eating its dust, and I'm like, what the heck? And I quickly realized it was a Ferrari that was behind me. My car in no way could compete with it. But I'm gonna ask you a question. Did that make my Mustang convertible V8 slow? Was it suddenly a Volkswagen Bug? No, it was still a fast car. Was it a bad car? No, it wasn't a bad car. It's still a really good car that's fast. It's just not a Ferrari. And what happened is USC met a Ferrari. Michigan, top to bottom, is unbelievable. These players, one of the things that I loved about SC early in the season is I went to the LMU game. And when I was at the LMU game, it wasn't that SC played good. We won it. What really stood out to me was the players individually. I'm watching the game and I'm like, these guys are quick. They're fast. They're athletic. When I went to the first few games at the Galen, even though we won by big margins, it wasn't the play of SC. We were playing ragged, but it was the individual players again. You could see this was a quick, fast, athletic squad. And a few times I posted from top to bottom, this might be the best squad we've ever had at USC. But you know what? Michigan is better. The players they have are better. Right off the bat, what stood out is Jacob Coffey, who's a pretty solid guy. He was being thrown around like a rag doll by the Michigan front court. Ezra Sarr was as good as they were, but they were just as fast and just as athletic as he was. So what happened, we saw at the game, all of us who watched it, is Michigan jumped out fast and they never let up. Before we knew they had a 11-0 lead. But what hurt most for USC is we had 21 turnovers in the game. Michigan converted 24 points off those turnovers. We were giving away the game. And usually we're a good shooting team from the field, but we shot only 34% from the field and 22% from three-point line. So SC was not shooting well, but it wasn't because USC wasn't shooting well. What it was, Michigan's defense was outstanding. We just couldn't get into an offensive flow because of all those turnovers. And what it goes back to again, Michigan was the superior team. But should we be embarrassed that we lost by 30? I'm going to ask you a simple question. Right now, the number 7 team in the nation is Gonzaga. They've lost one game. You know who that game was? To Michigan. You know how much they lost by? 40 points. They lost by 40 points to Michigan, and they're the number 7 team in the nation. So I'm going to say, hey, SC, we only lost by 30 points. So let's not get too concerned. It was a painful loss. It hurt, but let's not overreact to it. Let's not start thinking that SC can't compete in the conference, that our front court can't handle it, because again, Michigan has been destroying everybody, and we happen to be one of the teams that they destroyed. And again, they destroyed us when we're missing 3 key players too. So hopefully when Elijah Arenas comes in, that's going to help out too as the season continues to progress. But there's still a lot of good things to look forward to with our team this year. Okay, let's do a quick flashback for a second. Let's look at Musselman when he threw his temper tantrum in the game. Musselman is hot. You can see it. His energy level is off the charts at this moment. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to give I'm going to quote and give props to one of the best posts about the game, and it was by Altaloma Trojan. And he was speaking about the game, and he says, what we did good. He says, the most energy from SC was Muss arguing with the refs as he got a T in the first half. And that's probably right. His energy level was off the charts right here, and the team was just falling apart. Late, but SC clawed back and fought their way back into this game, and you got to give them a lot of credit because we were playing so bad, turning the ball over. We weren't hitting anything. And late in the first half, we were only down by 5 points. But then Michigan again hit that gear that they had that we didn't, and just started to blow the game out. But I don't want us to overreact to the lack of energy because SC was on the road, and they were being blown out. And it happens to every team. When you're on the road, the crowd is against you, and when you're being blown out, your energy level starts to decrease. And in the second half, when they start to realize that, hey, we got no chance in this game, again, your energy level starts to decrease. It just can't happen. It just happens. So you can't look down at the USC team. They gave their best. Michigan was the better team. But I want to bring out something, that the lower energy level that we saw later in the game, that might actually come to our advantage, which is going to bring me to my next point. And my next point is this. I'm going to make a prediction right now, and it's probably going to surprise most of you. I am going to predict USC wins Michigan State, our next game, on Monday. And probably most of you right now are going, no way, I'm crazy. How can we beat it? We're on the road. Let me tell you why. And it's because of this blowout. Yeah, this blowout was painful, but what happened in this blowout is players rested. If we had been in a tight game and it went down to the wire, you would have had CBM playing 38 minutes. You would have had Ezra Sarr playing 38 minutes. You would have had Coffee playing 35 minutes. And everybody would have been giving all their energy in this game. They would have been emotionally and physically spent. But because it was a blowout, Ezra Sarr only played 27 minutes. Chad Baker-Mazara only played 23 minutes. Jacob Coffey, who didn't do much, played 16 minutes. The most minutes anybody played in this game was 27. Most players played around 23 minutes, and then suddenly it drops down to 16 minutes. Bernal played 28 minutes. So most of these guys were basically playing a half or a little bit more than a half. What you got is a rested team who is going to be ready for their next game, Michigan State. Michigan State played a game that was a battle for their lives against Nebraska, and they played on the same night as us. They were on the road. It was a tight game that they lost by, I believe, 2 points. So it was a game that went down to the wire, and guess what? All their starters, they were playing in the high 30s, 35 minutes, 38 minutes. Those guys were emotionally and physically spent from that game. SC is going to be going into the game well rested. And Muss, again, is going to have a game plan. He's going to have them prepared. And Michigan State is not Michigan. We compare much more favorably to Michigan State. And we'll be putting some posts up about it, and I'm sure Alta Loma Trojan will. If you ever get a chance, make sure and look at his posts. He always puts some really good in-depth statistics out that I appreciate. I'm sure all of us appreciate, that help us to see how SC is going to compare with Michigan State. But we compare much better with them. And so I'm going to say the rested USC team is going to defeat the physically and emotionally drained Michigan State game on Michigan. A lot of you think I'm crazy. I think Muss is going to have this team ready, and the Trojans are going to be angry and want to come out and prove something. So let's see what happens. I'm excited for Monday night. Fight on, and let's get down to the Galen.